Let me pull up my presentation. Yeah. So I hope you can see my screen. Okay. Please confirm. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yes, we can see it.
Perfect. As I said earlier on, I'm Michael, and I work with OpenRefine of Uganda. Today, we are going to talk about two main things. That's data field data cleaning. We shall put the emphasis on OpenRefine, but we shall a little bit talk about MS, that's Microsoft Excel as well. And these are two powerful tools that we use. One for field data cleaning, but MS Excel is as well used during form building. I guess if you, you've seen something to do with form building. If it's one of the tools that we use to create forms as well. So OpenRefine. We are going to talk about what OpenRefine is, why one has to use OpenRefine, how exactly does OpenRefine work. These are the the three important aspects that we are going to look at in regard to OpenRefine. OpenRefine is an open source application. Open source, I mean, it's just like your CQGIS. It's open source, so it is free, and it's a desktop application, and it's more like a database, but not a complicated database. So depending on the data sets you're working on, it can act as your database for the data you're having or you're working on. It's a database in a way that it keeps the projects for you. It auto saves the projects for you that you created in it, and you can refer back to them whenever you wish or whenever you want to access them. What is data cleaning? Data cleaning is identify and correct errors, making consistent data formats. In identifying and correcting errors, I mean, we have spelling errors, we have unwanted spaces in another data, we have like some data sets may not require underscores, you know, and making the consistency in data formats. I mean, if I want maybe the whole data in a given column to start with maybe capital letters, or I want the entire data set to entire column to have lower cases. All that is data cleaning, and keeping track of what you did or what you're doing is all data cleaning. We shall see more of these in a session, in our practical bit of the session. When is data messy? Data is messy when there are misspellings, extra spaces, as I said, values that do not make sense. You know, when you create a form, there are those system added columns in the data set, like the index. Although the index is useful, we shall see about the index in the practical session. There are things like the UID. Those are some of the columns that are system generated or are system added to the data set when you you download it from Kobo. Mind you, in this session, the data cleaning we are going to be talking about is the data. We are going to talk about the data that has been collected by Open Data Kit and has been submitted to Kobo as the server for the data. So that's basically because it is one of those are the two actually most important applications used, ODK, and then we have Kobo, which acts as the server that aggregates all this data together for you in the field, and it acts as a store for the data from which you can access it. Back to data that is messy, values that are out of range, they are combined variables. We shall see some of these in the practical bit of the session. But this is just these are just a few of the characteristics of messy data, as you can see here. OpenRefine doesn't modify original data. So if the data has errors in it, you have to fix them by yourself. You have to know how to fix them. So OpenRefine doesn't automatically point out errors for you in your data. It is you to determine that this is not quality, this is quality. Two, it tracks the changes you've been making to the data set. Three, it can be used to do a batch cleanup. You can clean up like one of the projects I was handling of recent. You can find that there's a data set with more than 20,000 rows. So imagine if you're handling those rows one by one. So OpenRefine can help you clean up the entire data set, no matter the number of, but of course it depends on the quality of your processor. Very important, because if you're handling a big data set, then that means you have a good processor to handle that kind of data set. It can easily help in doing, it can reverse, or if you've made a mistake, you've accidentally deleted maybe a column, you've accidentally edited some text, it can be easily reversible. Okay, OpenRefine can be downloaded from openrefine.org. I think I will share the link in the chat for you to be able to download OpenRefine. But let me do that quick so that we can, as we are continuing, we are able to download. We are able to download the software. It is not hard to install, so you just go to openrefine.org. I'll share this in the chat here, so that as we are continuing with the session, you can grab it. By the time we get to the practical session, you need to have installed it into your machines. How it works? It opens like a console or something like a prompt on your machine, and then it opens in your default browser. So depending on the browser you're using, it will open up a port for you in your browser. So it is an in-browser data cleaning tool. So it doesn't run like this any other software, like maybe Microsoft Excel. So we shall see how it all works. The key actions that we are going to be looking at, we are going to look at editing columns. We are going to look at editing rows. We are going to look at facets. Facets, it deals with, it can either be text facet or any other type of faceting, which helps you point out maybe the spaces or it points for you the text, the different kinds of text in a column. We shall see the details of that. There is title casing, there is stream leading and trailing with white space. This is also a two-way. It can help eliminate spaces between words, extra spaces, if I may say. And it also helps put spaces between the text, that depending on the data type you're handling. Okay. Yeah. Editing columns, I put some photos for you just to guide you. And these are some of the steps you need to take if you want like to edit columns in your data. One, you need to load the data set. We shall see that. After it has loaded, you create a project. And then step number one, you need to click on the column header that has a column header all. There is a drop down. Then on that drop down, there is where we have transform, edit all columns, facet editing, and then edit rows, columns, or view all. So you click on edit columns, and then step 3, you can reorder or remove column. Step number 4, you drag and drop the columns you don't want to the right, and then click OK. They will be eliminated, or you can do also editing in that same manner. Creating a project. How do we create a project? As I told you, after you've run your OpenRefine, that's after downloading and installing, and you run it, it will open for you a port at 127. You see this kind here. It opens for you a port on this kind of like an IP address. So it opens for you a port like that. So you just click on choose file, and then it will open your directory where your data set has been saved on your local machine or your local storage. And then you will choose the file and press next. Okay, shall see that practically. And faceting, same steps. What differs is that when you get to the list, you just click on facet or text facet. So we have 4 types of faceting, which is the text facet, numeric faceting, trimline facet, and scatter plot faceting. So today we shall basically talk about text faceting, since it is one of the majorly used type of faceting. Okay. Do we have any question up to there before I proceed? If you have any questions, please, you can put them in the chat, or you'll unmute and ask. Column editing, same steps. Okay. Yeah, so you can delete, you can edit, you can rearrange columns and much more. Okay. Same to rows. You can as well rearrange and edit row headers and the data within the rows. Okay. Yeah. So that is the theory bit of it, and we shall dive into the practical bit of it, and we see how OpenRefine works. And before I go to that practical bit of it, remember when we were introducing this, we said we shall also talk a little bit about MS Excel. MS Excel is a very also powerful tool, though I didn't include it in my presentation, but it's also nice to know. It can do it can do quite well, but when I compare, depending on the tasks that I want to do on the data set, I can determine which tool I need to use. Okay, I can determine whether to use OpenRefine. I can determine when to use MS Excel. For example, I'll give you one case scenario where I have a form which has different sheets. you know, when you're creating a form, to those of you who know, there is, you could put begin, repeat, and then end repeat. So most times when you download that kind of data from Kobo, it will split every begin group will be put on each separate sheet within the data, and with an index to the parent file. So when you're doing the merging, OpenRefine doesn't really do it well. It can kind of mess up with the data. So I can do the merging in Excel and then upload that file to OpenRefine for further cleanup. So we shall see all that, and we see how it all goes. Okay. Do we have any questions?
No questions in the chat yet. Do you have questions? Looks like we are good.
Okay, perfect. I will, I didn't set up, I didn't download a data set yet, but I have several of them. So I didn't download it intentionally so that I show you exactly how it is all done. This is Kobo. I'll log out and sign into an account with one of the accounts I use to.
We can't seem to see your screen.
So those of you who don't know what I mean, Kobo toolbox is, it can act as a server for you to upload in your data from the field, collected using mainly ODK. You know, there has not really been open source good tools for Apple, but we use ODK, which is Android based. So when you're in the field, you connect this server you've created with ODK, and then you'll be sending in your data from the field. So let me open one of the servers so that we download the data set and we walk through it together for you to know exactly how the entire process is done.
Michael, I don't know whether it's on my side. I can see the screen still loading.
Yep, it's my network.
Okay.
Let me try to switch to maybe a more stable one.
It has come up.
Okay, perfect. There are so many projects, but let me log in into one. Okay. Let me switch my network to a more stable one so that we don't have any kind of like glitches in the presentation. Okay. So there are no questions. That means you are understanding so much, or you're not understanding anything yet. Okay. I'm looking for a network here. Okay. In So yeah, this is one of the projects that I handled, I led. So let me download some data from here. Data download. Just download an already exported one because I don't think there has been. Okay, let's try to download and export a new one, or I can just download this very one that is here that was exported earlier on. Let's create a folder here. I can probably share with you some of this data since it is not so confidential, and call this one training. Training, and I can put this here. Okay. Yeah. So now I've downloaded my file here. So I don't know if any of us has succeeded with downloading OpenRefine. Has anyone succeeded? Because I wanted to dive into the practical bit of it, and we follow along. Okay. I will put this here and probably share with you this folder here. Okay. I will share with you this folder for you to get the data set that I'm talking about. Okay. Yep. I will share this so that anyone with the link can edit. Anyone with the link can edit. So do we have anyone that has succeeded downloading the OpenRefine? Yes.
I'm seeing some yes in the chat.
Chat. Okay. Yes.
Yes, I have.
That's Kingsley. Oh, it's about 178 MBs. It's not so big. Okay. So we are about 20. So if about 5 or 10 to get this, then we good to go. So I will open. So this is what I was telling you about. It opens this kind of console when you open it, and it runs and opens in the browser, as you can see. Okay. But because of the network, okay, let me switch to okay. So guys, can you still hear me? I was trying to switch internet, please confirm.
Yes.
Perfect. So let's load. We move. So this is the kind of points I was telling you about. Once it has loaded, it will automatically, let me close it and reopen. So it brings this kind of console. It runs and opens in the browser that you use as your default browser. So let's give it a moment to load. Which network?
It looks like we've lost Michael. Let's give him another minute to just fix his internet. Thank you. I'll pause the recording for a bit.
Once you close the browser, this may not close. So this is what determines, and it tells you what is being run and what is running in the background. Okay, what you're running in your OpenRefine, what you're doing. So here we have create project, open project, import project, or language settings. Okay, so we can choose our file here under create project, and we shall run to our desktop where we had hot training folder, and here is our data. So I'll open it, press next. So it is. I would recommend. Most importantly, I would like you to note is that I would recommend you here to deal with two file formats. Number one, you to deal with Excel, CSV. Okay, so here you can see it gives you a simple preview of how your data is and how your data is looking. Okay, it gives you a simple preview of how your data is looking before you actually create a project, for you to know that it is the actual data that I'm dealing with. Okay, yeah. So after it has loaded and everything seems to be all right, I will click on create project. And once I click on create project, I will have my data loaded for me. And you should note that I'm using version 3.62. And I believe it is the current version, which is more stable than any other versions. Okay. So here they will load for me, and in records, I have 27 rows of data. Okay. And here I can do a simple preview and see the kind of data I have. Okay. And let's start from the beginning of our presentation, but this time in a practical way. I was telling you that once your data is loaded, you click on the column header that has all, and then there's that drop down. Under the drop down, there is transform, is edit all columns, is facet, is edit row, there is edit columns. Okay, so we shall start with edit columns. Okay, are we together? Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
There is edit columns. So you click on, you bring your cursor on edit columns and then click on reorder. So once you click on reorder and remove columns, they will load for you your columns that you need to, it's a preview of all the columns. And something I forgot to mention about is this. I should mention it now. Before any data cleaning commences, there is a guide that guides on that process. Okay, that is called a data model. Let me quickly mention about a data model and how it looks like. A data model, this is one of the data models that that we created for the DRM for one of the projects we handled recently. Okay, field data cleaning. So a data model contains the steps that are to be followed by the data collector, and it should be as easy as possible, to an extent that even the person who doesn't know about the project can follow it and do the actual data cleaning. Okay, yeah, so it is a guide and it contains which columns to remove, which columns to keep, and you see, as you see, we still using OpenRefine. Okay, so it is very important to have a data model built up to be followed during data cleaning. Now, like here, you can see which columns to remove, which columns to leave, how to edit, especially if you're doing this data for maybe to upload on OSM, you need to know the taggings, the OSM taggings. That is a very important point that I had missed mentioning. So here, one, we shall, in our data, we don't need start and end. So we shall drag it to the right. Okay. We don't need the start and date. We don't need the enumerator name. The district name we need all this location data. And let's scroll to the bottom a bit, and we have some other things to remove. We don't need the list of dishes. We don't need list of source. We don't need what don't we need? We don't need these ones. We don't need the submission ID. We don't need these are some of the system the columns that are automatically added by the system. So we don't need them in our actual data. We shall remove that. Parent index and the indexes are used in the margin of the data. So we may not need to remove them. Submission, we don't need this, we don't need that. We don't need that, we don't need this, that, and that. Okay, let's see what else we need. Versions, we don't need any other information we don't need this. Okay, we don't need this. Can remove them, just dragging to the right. As I showed you in the slides, you just drag to the right. Submission time, submit validation, status, submitted by, tags, notes, index with need, and the parent index. So this, once I click OK, you see, the number of columns reduce. Okay, as you see here, we had start and end. They are not here because I've removed them. Okay, yeah. So it's just a one-click away for you to remove those unwanted columns. Number two, we are going now to follow column, so that we assess the data therein. Okay. Yes. we shall come to facet editing, then text. What text facet does, it lists for you here by the side the kind of text in this column. Okay. Now, like you see here, I have a Muria. Now here, once I bring a cursor to the word I want to edit, there is edit and include. So I will click on edit and I will remove this underscore here and apply. Okay. And you find that we have some blanks. Okay. We have some blanks there. So, but most of the data, like the districts, they are 8, as you can see, but they put for you the counts. They put for you the counts, how many that particular, how many times that particular district was, is existing in our data. So once you click OK, it loads for you and fixes. So let's exclude these blank ones. Okay. Yes. So we have only columns with data in this, as you can see. And once you bring a cursor to the cell, it brings for you also that edit. You can edit the data in that cell. Okay. And then number 2, facet editing also helps you to show you whether that column has data in it or not. So if I bring my cursor here and turn on the facet editing, you see, they will tell me this column is blank. Okay, it is blank. So I will come to all here and then I'll remove this, I will remove this column since it has no data. Or I can just click it like, and test out still text first and still blank. I'll also remove this under like this. Okay. Yeah. So there is also you can edit a column, rename this column. Now, how are districts tagged in OSM? Can anyone remind me? Address, district. I hope it is right. Okay, you run to tag info, and then you check out the tags. I hope you know this. I will share it also in case you need it. Anyway, I will share this in the chat. It's where you can get the different tags for OSM. You just search district here, and there is address district. So we come back to our OpenRefine address, ; district. Okay, I click OK. I hope there is no space. Yep. Okay. So you see, I have address district. I'll check for this whether there is data there. If there is not, I will just come and delete that as well after I'll delete Sabu County. I will delete this and I will delete that. Say okay. I hope you see how all the data flows when it comes to cleaning. So here I can edit and rename this column. Okay, like if I try out to run a text facet on these others, and they are all empty. Okay, I can just click on the drop down, click on edit, and then come and remove this column. So you can remove one column at a time, or you can remove a batch under all. So I'll remove this. Since it has no data, run a facet on it, blank, remove it. Okay. Sub county, run a facet on it, blank. I'll remove it. Okay. I'll remove it. Remove. So I can remove all these that are blank. Okay. And then our time is gone, but I will run a simple like edit, and then I can as well come to transpose and then run transpose cell across column, or I can transpose cell in row. Okay. So what transpose does, actually under all, you can run and edit all columns, removing the trim leading space or the white spaces. Okay. Click OK. That is worked on. Wait for it to load. So you find that in OpenRefine, all things are in one place. If you know how to follow the steps, everything will flow and everything will work out easily. Okay. So quickly, I've mentioned most of the editing, the faceting, the column headings, editing, all that, just there. So immediately, let me show you how to export data. And then in a few minutes, we shall run some bit of Excel, merging, removing what and that, and then we shall be done. So you find that it is hard if you're dealing with a data set that is very big to edit columns manually, cells manually. It becomes hard. So it goes in for such tools to help and quicken the process. Okay. Like, do we have any questions in the chat?
No questions in the chat. Do you have any questions? Looks like everything is straightforward.
Perfect. This is loading. So let me get a file here. And we quickly do bit of cleanup using Excel in a few 2-3 minutes, and you will see how it all goes. So I mentioned, when do one determine that one should use Excel or what? OpenRefine. Okay. Being frozen that, I guess, but what was that? Okay. Just answer this. I have that file downloaded. Yeah. So as OpenRefine is still, you see, so all the entire process is shown here. Whatever I've been doing and everything is shown here in the prompt. Is a message here. I've tried to download this version, including Java, but it has failed to install on my PC. And I trying to download the one I think for. Derek.
Yes, please.
Did you, you were trying to download the one I shared, the link I shared, from the link I shared?
Yes. Actually, I used that same link.
Oh, okay. You can try again, because I believe, let me reshare. It is openrefine.org. .org.
Okay,
And then
I will
from
try
there,
again.
yeah, you download the one that has Java, with without Java, because I believe you already have Java installed. Okay, so you just come to download, and then you download any version here. Okay, but I more preferably 3.62. You just click on zip, or you download Java for, I mean, OpenRefine for Windows. So this will download the file onto your machine. Okay. Yeah.
Oh yes, but that's the exactly one I have just downloaded right now. But
Okay,
when I
you
try
can
to
try to
install,
download this. Have you, and has it downloaded, or it has completely failed to download?
I know it has downloaded, but whenever I try to install it on my PC.
Have you tried to unzip? You have to first unzip the whole folder.
Yes, I have done that.
And then you run as admin.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right click on it, run it as admin.
Okay, let me do that.
Yeah. Yeah, so quickly, this is what I was telling you about. When you're creating a form and you have repeat, data is split into, oh, sorry. I should share this screen. Oh, perfect. So this is what I was saying. When you have split or begin group, I mean begin repeat, your data is split in two different sheets. So you find that in this form I had I have two sheets, and this sheet has this index here, which is the parent index, and then this sheet has this index here. And you find that these ones are repeating, but these are not. Okay, so what do? I come and merge these two to come up with a file like this with merged data, and that is done in Excel, because OpenRefine sometimes can mess up with the data when you're doing the merging, or when you try to load it there. Now you find that this file you're seeing here, it has all the data from the two sheets that I have. So how do we do that? I will quickly go through it. It is not hard. I'll come and create two files. I copy all this data here and paste it. I split the form into two, where each sheet has its own file. So I'll copy all and paste the data from the other side, okay? And this is what I have. So I'll save this as child, okay? And then I come, copy this data. This is now Excel. It is not OpenRefine. So in Excel, it is as usual. You just highlight and then delete. That is still, you still be following the data cleaning model that you will have created. So the form, the whatever like you don't need, you delete them. Okay. Yeah. So highlight all this data, copy. I'll put this into child one. Okay. Highlight first. Perfect. So I'll save this. And then I'll rename this file here, which is because it is the one with the parent index. Okay, save. And then I'll open a blank sheet in which I'm going to connect these forms and create one form which has all the data that is in the two sheets that I created. So the data you're seeing here with these two sheets is the data that I downloaded from Kobo. The way it was on Kobo, it has this sheet and this. And when doing data analysis, you can't do data analysis on two sheets that are separate. All the data has to be aggregated into one, and this is how to aggregate it. So I will come, open this sheet. Now under data here, I will come and import the files from Excel workbook, and I bring in all the forms that I have. I connect them. Okay. Oh, PC freezing. Sorry. Sorry, we are going a little bit beyond our time, but it won't take long. I just wanted to demonstrate a little bit of it, and this is DRM for D today. Come, desktop. Parents, I will bring in parents. And here it is. So I'll load in this. And it will load here. So it has, now you see this kind of data has 16,970 rows. You can imagine. It is such a big data set. So I will come to that again, and I import in another Excel sheet, which is the child, this one, and I import it in. So they are telling me it has 16,970 rows. And then this other one has to have more rows, since it is the child layer, the child sheet. It has the most rows, since it is fed by the parent sheet. Okay. So it is loading, and let's give it a moment to load. Okay, it has loaded, perfect. So I'll click on it and load it here. You'll realize that it will have more rows compared to this one. So this may have like 1,000 rows of data. Thank you. Well, so you realize that it has more rows loaded. Okay, it has loaded. Let's wait for it. You see, this one has 23,078 rows. Okay, Yeah. So what we're going to do, come to data, get, and then you click on combine queries. Okay, merge. What we are going to do is merge these two sheets into one. So we shall get our sheet one, which is the parent, and then we shall bring in our sheet two, which is this child that has those like the lesser sheet, the lesser number of rows, and the one with the highest number. So we shall now. This is where the index comes in. The index in the parent sheet doesn't repeat. It is a continuous counting number. But the one, let me just display it for you here, and you'll see. You see this index 1 1 is 2 2, but here we have 1 2. So we are going to match the index plus the parent index in the child there. So here we shall, now here is very important. You determine which sheet should be which side in your final data. Okay. So we want the left to be an outer. So they will match all from the first sheet and matching from the second. So we shall leave that as that. But sometimes you have to look at this here. Okay. The match is we have 23,023. This is small. We shall change so that the number of rows is matching. Okay. So we should have 23 matching into the 16. Okay. Okay. Let's change this to 1 to 2, and then this to 1. So we have our index here, and this, and we keep left outer. So you have to take a keen look at the rows for you not to mismatch the data that you're working on. Okay. Okay. Let's load this and we see how the final looks like. So that's one way to do that. There are several other ways, but that's the easiest of all. So you see, so now after it has loaded, you will expand this here so that you have all the columns of the data loaded. Okay. You have all the data loaded here in one sheet. So realize that we are dealing with about 20,000 rows of data. Now you see, they are all loaded in one sheet. So I'll load, and I will be able to preview the merged data. So that's how we do that. And still in Excel, there are a lot of formulas. You know, Excel is wide, and it needs we need like another 2 hours to have a glimpse of how to do editing, to do fixing and formatting in Excel. I'll stop there unless you have questions. I will welcome them. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Michael, for this training today. It was really nice. Do we have any questions? All right. So I think that's it for today. In case you have any questions, please feel free to contact Michael. Michael is on Slack as well, and he's going to share the presentation with me, and I'll add it to the schedule as usual. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Michael, again, and see you on Slack. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.